No, neither do I. Like, I'm just being the devil's advocate here. I don't even know who I'm representing, maybe. Or maybe, hopefully someone in the audience, or someone somewhere. Because I could see that sort of criticism or that comment, like, leveled at possibly both of these films, you know what I mean? So I'm neutralizing that, and now we can get down to other questions, like, tell me, like, how much of this, if you could tell me a little bit more of the background, because when you went back home to Ajax, Whitby? Scarborough. Did you know what you were going to do? Were you planning to attack that air return?
Not specifically. We knew that we were going to go and make a film sort of about elements from my childhood, but this was a story that I had told him before, and I told him again on camera, and we just sort of organically decided to try to look at the toy, and then we were like, well, maybe we should try to rescue it. And then we did. I can't believe we did. Like,
it shows on your face. That's authentic feeling. Yeah.
Because it's that thing had been down there for almost 20 years. So.
Yeah. And how many hours did it take you to extract Leonardo?
Not many. From the time that we found the rope to the time that we pulled him out was probably no more than an hour. Wow. So Jeff made a little loop with the coat hanger and got his foot almost on the first try. So it was kind of crazy.
If only we knew then what we know now. You could have gotten him out so much sooner. And Jonas, what about you? Like, how much, you've talked about a script. There was a script for this film. So you knew what you were going after to a certain extent when you started this film. Did it go according to plan, or?
Yes and no. We kind of found the stories we were looking for. Like, we had done a lot of research before and found a lot of stories we wanted to do. And we kind of found the characters we wanted to do stories about. But then again, things happen that you can't predict, yeah. Like, for example, the car catching fire.
Talk about the car catching fire. That's my favorite scene. Anybody else?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because the thing is, what you see in the film is actually the second time the car catches fire. Because the first time it was me driving the car, and the camera was in the other car on the way to the airport, and we were going to go back to Copenhagen just to have a couple of weeks off. And then I was driving down some highway outside of Detroit, and my feet began feeling a bit warm. It was getting warm at the feet. And smoke was beginning to come, and I pulled over, and there was like, straight away there was smoke in the cabin, and the paint started to bubble on the hood. So I just grabbed my bag and got out, and like in 30 seconds it just lit up, and I was there in the outskirts of Detroit with a burning car. And like the car was like almost the protagonist of the film. So we had to figure something out because we were only like 1/3 through the shootings. So we couldn't find like another car like that because that's like a rare 70s cars kind of. So we actually dragged like the burned out car from Detroit to Kansas and hired a pyrotechnician and lit it up again and filmed Bob at the car and did the 911 call.
I love the 911 call. I love that call, yeah. And that's completely fabricated. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do we have questions from the audience? Yes.
Okay, so you said there was a script.
There was a script.
How big was the script?
Yeah.
Like,
So,
were you giving people lines, or did you just like write out scenarios? Like what?
so how scripted was it? Were you providing lines for these characters to read? Were they just like vague scenarios that you were sort of improvising?
The script was actually pretty precise. We didn't have lines, and I never gave the people in the film lines because they're not actors. Well, we actually tried a couple of times, but it was horrible because they don't know how to act. So they did it all, you know, very stagey, yeah, and it didn't work at all. So what we did was like from our research, we did a bunch of little cases. Like we knew we wanted a missionary man, and then we went out to try to find a missionary man, and we found one. He wasn't what he was like in the script, but we could like give him the little push that would make him go on a travel across the U.S. So what's scripted is like, we wanted a missionary man who was going to travel across the U.S., but we didn't actually give him any lines or put on clothes on him or anything. He was himself. So, and that goes for all the characters in the film. Like we had like the young couple in the film, like in the script they were Caucasian and they were going to prom, and then we ended up with these two young guys instead. So we just always try to find like stories that match the stories we had in the script, and somehow it worked.
The dialogue is incredible, though. Like, some of the things that those people say are what renders it so profound. Like, damn. Yep, do we have more questions? Yes.
The Bill in the diary, like, is a diary fictional? Did you write that, or is Bill real?
Talk about the diary. Is the diary fictitious? Is it real?
Bill is like the one thing in the film that's 100% fiction.
Yeah.
And Bill was kind of like, because we had this patchwork of different little stories, all concerning recession, people losing, and we wanted to tie all these stories together, so it wasn't just like a patchwork, but some kind of story that gave the film a drive, that made it move forward. And then at some point, David and I was in a hot tub somewhere doing our research, and Bill just popped out. Not in the hot tub, but like in our minds. and he's kind of like the guy he's kind of like the image of a gathered enemy. He's like a symbol of, I don't know, globalization, the banks, Bush, Obama, the Chinese, everyone.
The dollar bill, money.
Huh?
The dollar bill, money.
Yeah, exactly. Everything that people feels like blaming their misfortunes, that's Bill. So instead of we have people talking about a bunch of different things, everybody blames Bill instead. That was kind of the idea about it. And then, like, to go out and try to catch Bill, we needed some kind of proof that he was real, and that was where the notebook came in. And that's a guy called Jonas from Copenhagen who did it. He's not called Bill.
And we can see, isn't that journal, or it's online, right?
The journal's online now, yeah. So, like on the Facebook page for the film, you can page through all the pages.